Welcome to the Double Dribble Podcast with Dubin and Dakil. That's Jared Dubin, author of Last Night in Basketball. Make sure you're subscribing to his newsletter, getting all that good stuff. He's dropping great video clips almost daily at this point with what he saw last night, because it was last night in basketball, and the last night in basketball every night has been phenomenal. I don't know what else to say. The games have been absolutely amazing. I'm Mo Dakil, former video coordinator with the Clippers, Spurs, Team Australia, write for Bleacher Report, do videos on offside, literally dropping my offside power rankings almost as soon as we're done recording here. So make sure you're checking that out on a weekly basis. Sign up for the app. We're getting close to opening up the wait list, folks. So make sure you're signing up. Offside.gg. Jared, I'm going to stop talking. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. It has been great nights in basketball pretty much every night. What we had on Monday was absolutely insane. But obviously Tuesday we got some bigger news that overshadows basically all of the games.
It sucks. It absolutely sucks when it happens. But before we let all that news overshadow the everything, I want to bring up one thing, folks. Please rate, review, subscribe to this podcast. 5-star reviews. Remember, folks, I'm looking for 5 million. I'll settle for 500 right now. But we want to get to 5 million reviews with all of that stuff. And on top of it, check out our YouTube page. Jared, what's the YouTube page? Because I always mess it up.
YouTube.com/@DoubleDribblePod. And then one more thing. We are still looking for new intro music. So if you are out there and want to help with that, maybe like 10, 15, 30 seconds, whatever it is. If you got some background in music producing or anything like that, hit us up and we'll try to make something, try to work it out.
And folks, I would just say, and I'm not trying to be a diva, 15 seconds. Nobody wants 30 seconds of intro music. They want to get to us right away. I would just say 15 seconds, actually, because 30 seconds just tends to go long for a podcast intro.
Yeah.
In that sense, if you are so inclined to help us out, we would greatly appreciate it, because let's just be honest, we're not very musically inclined, and Nintendo didn't like what I did with their video game graphics and Double Dribble theme song, which broke my heart because I loved that game. Very fond memories. I'm going to stop talking about it. Jared, what was the big news that dropped the other day?
Well, Nico Harrison is no longer employed by the Dallas Mavericks.
What?
Who could have seen that one coming? They termed it as they made the decision to part ways, which I always like the euphemisms that they use for firing people, like made the decision to part ways or let them go or mutually agreed to no longer work together or, whatever it is, relieved of his duties. This one was made the decision to part ways with Nico Harrison, which probably about 9 months too late, my friends.
Well, I mean, no, it was, to be honest, it was 10 months too late, because you should have fired him the moment he brought up the topic of we should trade Luka Doncic, and these are all the reasons why. You should have sat there, listen, nodded your head, cool, get the hell out of my office. Take your stuff with you. Don't ever come back. Leave your badge. You know what? Don't even take your stuff. Security will pack it. We got you. Leave. Leave now, in this moment. Look, the situation, we all know the story. We all know, they didn't get enough for him. He should have shopped the deal if they were going to trade Luka. I don't want to relive the Luka trade itself, but I also think there's something that's really important in that Luka trade thing that kind of gets sort of lost in the sort of conversation here with Nico. Is this wasn't all Nico. It was the brainchild of Nico. He started this. He pushed this. This is what he was trying to sell. But he has to sell it, which means somebody else has to buy it. And I think we've let the Mavs ownership group get off way too easy in allowing this trade to go through. At any point, they could have shut this thing down. There have been so many trades that we know of that once they get to the ownership level, the ownership group, for whatever reason, whether it's a single owner or an entire group, has all just said, nope, we're not doing that. It's that simple. And I just think we let Patrick Dumont and the Adelson family just completely slide here a little bit. Scapegoat Nico, who's a worthy scapegoat, has earned it. And all that, everything he's done since, really, besides drafting Cooper Flagg, is a massive mistake. But I just think we let them off the hook quite a bit.
There's been a lot of that groundswell in the last couple of days about the Dumont family and to a lesser extent the Adelson family, because Dumont is, I believe, the controlling owner. So he's the one that gets more of the blame, I suppose. But you can't be sold on something unless there's someone selling it to you. So I don't want to I don't want to assign too much blame to him.
No, I do. I do, because I think you're an idiot. If that's not you, but if you're Dumont and you're making this deal in that sense, I should have been more careful with
so
how
do
I phrased
I.
that.
But it would never have come up for him if Nico didn't come up with it. Like it's hard to determine like which of those things is worse, like that you allowed yourself to be sold on it or that you had someone that was in position to sell it to you in the first place. Like if Nico never tries to sell it, then it never happens. But they still allowed themselves to be talked into it, which is bad. But that never happened. Like it's the chicken. It's not even the chicken or the egg. The chicken came first in this scenario, and they allowed the egg to be born.
But we know Nico was like absolutely wrong and dumb and all. Like that's my point. Like we know Nico was complete. Like there's no way you can defend it. There's no way you can look at. I know there were people in the nether regions of the internet that were trying to come up with like, well, no, it's a good idea to trade Luka and da da da. Like I know there were people that were trying to come up with that reasoning, and people even trying to use analytics and heliocentric offense and all that stuff. But like, there's no defending Nico. The whole thing, I wasn't trying to absolve Nico. This is 100% on Nico. But also, this is also on Dumont. And I think that has to be, like, I just don't think, for the past 9 months. Now, if the fans come out with the chant of every time they see Dumont and yell and chant, sell the team, I'll applaud them because they understand now it was more than just Nico. But it was all Nico. His idea, he's driving the car, all that stuff. But he was able to pick up Dumont, and that's to me a sign of like, I have very big concerns about this ownership group. Has the ownership group ever started on such a sour note and that stayed in the city? Because obviously we know the Clay Bennett history with Seattle and that stuff. So like we get that. But I'm talking about bought the team, is always keeping the team in Dallas. Although there's always, again, nether regions of the internet where the move to Vegas. But, like, they bought this team, and it's just been all bad. Like, Ishbia's right up there. But it's like I don't know where we go.
Yeah, I would say there are always people in the nether regions of the internet. So you're always going to find someone to believe something, whether that's that this trade made any sense on any level at any time, or that there was a secret plan to move the team to Dallas. Like you're always going to be able to find 1 or 2 or 7 people that believe those sorts of things. It's interesting you brought up Ishbia. I saw someone make the comparison to him earlier today. I can't remember who it was, but they basically said it's opposite ends of the same spectrum, where Ishbia comes in and he's just way too involved because he thinks he's a basketball guy right away. And then Dumont and the Adelsons come in and they don't know enough about basketball to know that they're being sold on the dumbest idea in the history of American professional basketball. And both ownership groups just mess things up on a level that is, heretofore unseen, particularly this one. Like you said, I don't know that there is a possibility for an ownership group to mess things up in a more profound way soon after coming in like these guys did. Even with Ishbia, like, yeah, he messed things up. At least he messed things up, like trying to get awesome players for not all that much and make things better and get superstars to pair with his star. This is like, we're going to trade away a top 5 player in the league at worst before his prime because of defense. And we're going to get a guy who is 6 years older, who is never healthy. We're not even going to get all the draft picks that the other team has. We're not going to get the best prospect that the other team has. And this is the only deal we're willing to even consider. We're not going to shop it around the league. We're not going to wait until the summer. We're not going to get him on a longer contract so there are more. Like, I don't think we should gloss over all this. I know it's been talked about ad nauseum, but we should talk about it too. Like, all of the 100,000 reasons why it was the worst decision that we've seen in either of our careers covering basketball. Like it's not worth just glossing over that. And then there's even the decision to do it in the first place. Even when you leave aside all of that, the decision to do it in the first place is just so mind-bogglingly nonsensical that it's hard to comprehend on any level.
Like, it's just, and yeah, let's dig in a little bit. Like, not getting Austin Reeves in that deal, not getting all the picks in that deal is a crazy thing. And even then, I still think not shopping it is crazier because you could have gotten more even than that.
Way more.
In
So
all
much
the
more.
stuff. Like, it's absolutely absurd with everything that went on. I mean, it's really amazing. You said it, like, it's the craziest thing we'll ever see. I don't think we will ever see a trade as bad or as lopsided in our career. And I say that knowing
like
this
hindsight either. This is not hindsight. Everyone and their mother was saying this immediately. I thought that the Shams tweet was fake.
Everybody
sent
did.
a tweet of my own saying, "Come on, guys, there's no way that's real. They're only getting one pick and Anthony Davis."
Well, hold on. Let's relive it a little bit. Where were you when you saw the tweet?
I was in my bedroom because I was getting ready to go to sleep after that Knicks Laker game.
Mm-hmm. Late night. It was a late night. That game. Did it go to overtime or was it? That was the game
remember.
in LA.
It was a close game. I don't think it went to overtime.
It was. So I remember I'm in bed because the game ended, and I'm watching a show with my wife. I think we're watching the show Paradise, with my wife, and I literally get the notification, and I have Shams on notification, so I get the thing, and that's how I know it's not fake because it's Shams' tweet, unless he's hacked. But I'm like,
right, I thought he was hacked, is what I was thinking.
I saw it and was like, huh. And then I looked over to my wife and said, I think we have to pause this show for a little bit. I think I have to do some work. And then immediately my phone starts to blow up. And then it's like, okay, this is actually like real. This is crazy. This is absurd beyond itself. And the package. And I like immediately like Luka had to have demanded it. Something must have happened behind the scenes, and Luka demanded a trade and would only go for the Lakers and had some leverage. Like there was something. Like there was. I was like, this will come out. We won't. And then for it to come out the way it did, and
it was the
To
opposite.
be like, yeah, it's the exact opposite. They just literally said, "Here you go, Lakers." And by the way, I want folks to understand something. You can hate the Lakers all you want. This is a blessed organization. They are given gifts over and over again. And I'm done. Like I said it when the trade happened. I'm like, I'm done shitting on Lakers exceptionalism with the fans thinking they get everybody, because I'm just like, they get everybody. Giannis demands a trade. They're going to get him for Rui Hachimura. Like, I won't be shocked. Like, it's like the way it works, it seems, in all this stuff. Like, they're beyond that. But when you look at it from Dallas's side, like, the trade just made was like, I mean, AD wasn't even healthy when they made the trade. He didn't play in that game against the Knicks. He had just exited, I think it was either Philly or Milwaukee. He played a little bit and then left that game early before they went to New York. Like, it's just so asinine. Like, it was such a bad trade in a way of which, like, this is my thing. This is why, again, I'll go back to the ownership group. They may not be basketball people. They're casino people. They may not know hoops. They've seen, since they've owned the team, how many Luka jerseys are in their stadium on a nightly basis. They can at least, if they're somewhat observant human beings, that must be that team's best player. They must have like the fans, like to have made this trade and not understand the backlash that was coming their way. Like what were you thinking?
Just from a business sense, even beyond the basketball stuff, the business of it is like one of the worst business decisions that I've ever seen.
And like, because they don't want to pay the contract or what. I'm like, yo, you're going to make all of that money back off this guy.
Also, let's say you don't want to pay the contract. Sign him to it anyway and then trade him like the Clippers did with Blake Griffin.
Yeah. Like, and don't get me wrong, still incredibly stupid deal with all for the Mavs to do that. But yeah, and now we look at this team.
I also want to just before we go to the more of the future. This is a guy who, and I wrote this at the time. I was like, there were moves that he made that I didn't like that ended up working out pretty well for them. I did not like the trade for Kyrie Irving, given like literally everything that happened in 2020 and 21, and it worked out pretty well for them. I didn't like the PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford trades at the prices that they paid for those guys with the first round picks that they gave up, and those ended up working out pretty damn well for them, and they went to the finals. And I said that in my story that I wrote, which I titled "What the Fuck, Luka to LA." I was like, he's pulled off all of these moves that people didn't think were very good, and they worked out well. Maybe he really does pull another rabbit out of his hat. And I was like, no, he won't. And this is not the only time that he pulled out a move that immediately looked dumb, like letting Jalen Brunson leave.
I mean, it's all of those things. Like, I just don't.
The Klay Thompson exchange for Derrick Jones didn't work out very well.
I mean, no, like there's. I mean, he. Besides the Luka trade, I think he was an average general manager.
Yeah, he was okay.
Like, I think he had some good moves, and he had some bad moves. That I'm not mad about. Happens with GMs.
Move too, the Derek Lively maneuver, where they tanked to get their pick, so they didn't have to give it to the Knicks. They got lucky in the lottery, where I think they moved down a spot, so they got to keep their pick, and then they moved up to get to the number 10 pick to get Derek Lively.
So, but like all of those moves actually bring up to where I wanted to take us to. You had a team that was built for Luka Doncic. You still have a team that's kind of built for Luka Doncic. Mm-hmm. Now you're in a situation where whoever comes in to take over, and I know they have co-interim general managers, which is
it's Michael Finley, who obviously Mavs legend, and then Matt Riccardi, who has been he was with the Nets before.
Small note: I used to rebound for Finley when he was with the Spurs. One of the coolest dudes ever. But yeah, anyways. Besides that, you just look at it and you go like, I just don't know. You have to take this team down to the studs now, right? Everybody's already put up their Anthony Davis trade proposals and things like that. Like, there's nothing for this team right now. Like, even if Kyrie comes back, AD's already out. No reason to rush it. Kyrie back. You're what are they in the West? I just had it up a second ago too. Jeez.
They're 3-8.
3-8 in the Western Conference. Let's just be honest, you've dug yourself quite a hole. It's going to be hard in a very difficult conference. You're in a situation now, like, it's not even like, cool, we're going to trade AD. You're going to trade AD. You're not going to get back even close to anything for him. I don't think Jared, you're the general manager. You're trading for Anthony Davis. What are you willing? How many first round picks are you willing to give up, if any?
Depends on what else I have to give up, obviously, but not very many. I don't think you're getting like multiple first round picks in a deal for Anthony Davis.
You're just not. You're just not.
He's 32 years old. He is always hurt. He is a great defender, but he's not like a top 5 or 10 defense unto himself defender. Like, the Lakers were the 19th ranked defense when they traded him. The Mavericks, granted he only played 9 games
9
or whatever.
Games. He's only played 9 games for them, I think, is the number.
Yeah. It's not like they've been an amazing defense throughout his career. It's not like he's had, repeated top 5, 10 defensive finishes throughout his career. So, he's a great player. He's a top 15, 20 player in the league, but he's older. You have to give him an extension if you trade for him. He's never on the court. What are you getting?
It's brutal. It's brutal with where they're at. Like, I don't understand how they kind of deal with this, And it's like, now to me, I'm like, yo, you might have to start looking at what can we get for Derek Lively. And again, injured. Quite a lot of promise as a big man, but injured.
Can't trade PJ Washington this year because of when he signed his extension.
Like, so you're kind of like, I don't know what you do. I mean, you have to start. I think you just have to tear it all down. You have to take the hits. These are going to be bad trades. We're going to get screwed on these trades. Let's deal with it. They have their pick, I believe, in this year's draft, which is good.
It's like the only time they control their own pick from now through 2031.
So you need to be awful this year. You need to just tank. And I hate saying this, 11 games into the season. But you're in a situation, you need it. Kyrie, we love you. Rehab, let's get it back next year. You need a tank for one of these young kids. And by the way, if we can, we're going to trade you, Kai. It's I think that's sort of they need to build around Cooper. They need to be bad this year and just hope they get lucky in the lottery again, because I don't know, otherwise, if whatever, they bring everybody back, everybody comes healthy, whatever, all this stuff, this is a mediocre team. This is a play-in team for the next 3 years.
I never understood the idea that this was supposed to be a win-now team. It was already a win-now team.
You went to the finals the year before. That's the thing. They went to the finals in 2024, and then it's we got to win now, so let's throw away the guy that got us. It
had been 8 months since they went to the finals.
It was just incredibly dumb. Everything about it. And by the way, I benefit from it. I get to watch Luka in LA regularly. Yeah. I think it's great. I enjoy it. I love it. It's freaking great for me. But I just don't understand, man, what they've done. And by the way, they had to fire Nico. It was, the fact he even got this far. But forget about everything bad about the trade and stuff like that. The fact that they didn't really try to add any creators besides D'Angelo Russell, knowing that Kyrie was out, kind of surprises me with their offseason. And I think that's what are you doing here? In that sense, there was no choice. You had to fire him. They literally, I think Mark Stein even reported that they had changed the America Airlines Arena setup to the hockey setup.
They were wheeling in stairs so he could get out of his
so
seat
he could get out without having to deal with. And by the way, there were fans that were crazy and death threats and stuff, or supposed. I don't know if that ever was flushed out. Y'all don't need to be doing any of that stuff, man. At the end of the day,
you want to chant "Fire Nico" at Cowboys games and Rangers games and Astros games and wherever else, or not Astros games, Stars games and wherever else. SMU games, go nuts.
Have fun, but we draw
beyond that.
Relax. But it's just an absolute disaster. And by the way, if you're Rob Pelinka, you might want to just give your boy a call. Hey, you okay? Sorry.
Maybe wait a little bit and then give him
my
a call.
Bad. Hit him with the my bad. I didn't think it would get that bad. With all of that, it's just sad. I feel bad for Dallas fans. I don't fully.
You know what the worst part is though? They get this sort of psychic relief of the most hated, I guess is probably accurate, man in Dallas sports history at this point.
That's saying something with a city with Jerry Jones.
Yeah. But they get that relief, but they don't get to have Luka back. No, it's
the pain is the pain. It's it. That's it. It's done.
It's still going to be another 10 years of pain, 10 or more. He's only 25, 26 years old. You got to live with it for another decade or more.
It's yeah. I don't know. Do you have any more notes here on the Mavs? I will shout out J. Kyle Mann. He had a fun idea on the Zach Lowe show podcast when they did an emergency podcast yesterday. Did you hear that at all?
No, I haven't listened to it yet. What'd they say?
They're picking teams or whatever, and he actually it's funny, and I love when this happens. And Kyle broke Zach's mind a little bit when he brought up, how about a Anthony Davis for Paul George trade?
Oh my God, that kind of breaks my mind a little bit too.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Kind of like it. Shout out to Kyle for that one. I was like, kind of like that.
At first, I was like, wait a minute, AD to the Clippers, and then I remembered that he's on the Sixers now.
Right. So I mean, it was just a fun one with that one. But I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I don't see a landing spot for AD that brings back anything. One that brings back anything of consequence for the Mavs. You know, like there are going to be some teams I think that like will talk themselves into Anthony Davis and think they're closer than they actually are, um, with all of that stuff. But like, it's also a massive contract. It's hard to do, hard to pull off the trade. The Mavs are in the first apron, I believe, so they can only take back exactly what they send out.
Right.
So
they can't take back more money than they send out. It has to be dollar for dollar or less.
And that means somebody like Brooklyn's, if they're smart, going to get involved, which then means they're going to get part of the draft equity that's involved in this trade. Like, I just feel like it's. I don't know what you do, where you go. I just know if there is going to be a trade, and I think there has to be. I don't know if it's going to be good, and I think Dallas has to get ready.
It's not going to be good. I know it's not going to be good.
Well, they have to get ready for some of that pain in that stuff of like the new guys, whoever it is going to have to come in and make a trade that immediately we're immediately going to declare them losers because of the trade. But it's like it's kind of like Washington. I had no choice. I have to clean this shit up.
Yeah. I wonder how much authority Finley and Riccardi are going to have as the interim co-general managers, and what happens if they're not in agreement on something. Like, is this with the expectation that these guys are going to lead the front office into the future, or is this like it's a placeholder until we figure out what we're going to do? Because that could get interesting too.
I can only believe it's a placeholder situation, and I think it'd be like they need to be their ownership group, whoever it is, and they need to be reaching out to like. Listen, we know all the common names that all constantly, like Bob Myers, his name is going to get somehow attached to this. Even though he just took a job, right, with the Washington Commanders?
I believe so.
Yeah, he left. So I don't even know
how. I already saw that Mark Cuban wants Dennis Lindsey, but Mark Cuban doesn't have control of things there anymore. So
yeah, so I mean, like, I don't know. Well, you know, do you really want the guy who hired Nico the first time to make the next decision too? Like, I don't. Sorry, that was a cheap shot. And I like Dennis. Dennis has really, again, worked with him with the Spurs, so I, got a lot of respect for him. But like, you need to get somebody in the seat right away is my thing. Because what you don't want is some sort of like we go on a run and win 6-7 games. Like, this is your last chance to really be in the lottery, and you're already off to the perfect tanking type start. Just continue.
I don't think they have to worry about going on a run where they win 6-7 in a row. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Just hopefully for Mavs fans' sake, Cooper Flag is awesome, and they figure out a way to get something done over the next few years. But it's going to be rough for a while.
Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement. I think that's enough Mav stuff, don't you? Like, I don't know. Do you have anything else left in the notes of what you want to hit on with this?
I don't think so. I think that's it. Obviously, we've talked about like every possible angle. Not that like it's wholly new ground. Everybody's talking about the same kind of stuff, but it's just like it has to be talked about. Like
we couldn't come on the podcast and just say Nico got fired. All right, let's talk about basketball. Like, we couldn't just do that, folks. Like, that's not how this works.
And we are going to talk about basketball, but we couldn't just do that.
Yeah. So I think we're done here. We are now going to talk about basketball. Jared, drive the car, man. Where you want to take us?
Let's start with the Clippers.
Oof.
3-7.
About one sad place to another.
Yeah,
this might be the sad podcast.
We'll end on the higher note with the next team that we're going to talk about that looks really good so far. But the Clippers, 3-7, -5 point differential, worse than the Jazz, who they got blown out by on opening night. Bradley Beal is now out for the season with a fractured hip. He's out 6 to 9 months, so he's going to be done for the year. They look old. They look slow. Everybody other than James Harden needs to step it up. It's getting quickly to like a yikes level start to the season for these guys. And I know that there was a year where they started 3-6 a couple of years ago, and they started 6-7 a few years ago, and they still were able to come back and win a bunch of games. But it looks really bad. Like I said, they look old and slow. The defense, they're not getting back in transition, even though they had those get the FUCK back shirts that Jeff Van Gundy made during training camp. Like, it's bad, man. Like, I watched them the other night against the Hawks, and they lose to Vic Krejci, putting up 28 points or whatever it was, hitting 6 threes. No Trae Young, no Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and they blow like an 18-point lead in that game against Atlanta. I mean, I don't know how much you've seen of the Clippers so far, but man, I am worried, and I was already worried coming into the season. I wrote a big thing about how like they were going to be too old to have real success in the playoffs, and it's looking like the regular season might be a slog too. By the way, Chris Paul getting DMP CDs these last couple games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about old. Let's just be honest. The Clippers were one of those teams I was big wrong on, right? I thought
me too. I said they were going to be a top 5 seed in the West.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting better. Like they're up there with some of the most disappointing teams to watch, but I'll also put it to you this way. They're a hard watch.
Yes.
It's hard to watch this stuff. Like, there are bad teams that at least it's kind of interesting with some things. This has been brutal. Zubac has looked like he's taken a step back, which is kind of okay in the sense of, like, he's human. Because if you be honest, like, we talk about development never being linear. With him, it was kind of linear and going constantly straight up. I feel like this is the first season where I'm like, woof, what are we doing? They do look, I mean, slow is like understatement. It's been bad. And it's just like they lead the league in turnovers last I checked with like 18 or 19 a game. I think maybe they've gotten a little bit better with that. It's sloppy. It looks bad defensively. Like, this was a team that was really good defensively last year.
Yep.
And this just lets you know, don't let Jeff Van Gundy make you T-shirts. That's how you want to take a defense. Let him make a T-shirt. I
they
think
are
it's
24th in defense so far. 24th.
Yeah.
What were they, third last year?
Yeah. They were unbelievable defensively last year. And I just feel like everything's like John Collins hasn't really clicked with them. They haven't really gotten, Bogdanovich has been hurt. Not that it's like, oh, we got Bogdanovich, everything's fixed now. Like, I know Kawhi's was started the season, and he looked pretty good to start the season. In and out of the lineup since. I don't think he's played in a few games.
Like some ankle thing, I believe it is.
Yeah, like they're just a tough ass to watch. Like, it's brutal. And the losses, they got their ass. I mean, they got like beat by Phoenix. Like, it's pretty bad with the way they've kind of handled the start of the season. And this is one of those things where it's like you list off like where they've had bad starts and made the playoffs. This doesn't feel like that. This just feels like, yo, we're just bad.
Yeah, I would agree. Like it doesn't feel the same as it did when, a few years ago they got off to like a not very good start, and then they traded for Harden and they didn't win the first, like, whatever it was, like 4 or 5 games or whatever it was that he played for them, and it was like, oh, well, maybe this isn't going to work, but this doesn't feel like that. They've already got guys hurt. Chris Paul getting DMP CDs. Beal's now out for the rest of the season. Like you said, Collins doesn't look all the way integrated yet. He's going to start, it seems like, from now on. We'll see what happens there. We'll see if Zubac can bounce back to the level he was at last year. Clearly what they need is for Jordan Miller to come back from the hamstring strain.
Oh, I mean, God. I don't have much. I like, and the things that are bad, like, listen, lost 5 straight, minus 5.1 point differential. You said 24th in defensive rating. Their offense is not much better. It's got to be near the bottom. You're looking at this stuff and you're just like, shit, man. They
Nick
are
Batum
scoring.
can't make shots. Brook Lopez only shooting like 33, 34% from 3.
it's this is a shitty ass team with a lot of names that you look at going like, oh, we should be better. Now maybe this is going to be a very mean thing for me to say. Maybe Beal being hurt and out for the season kind of opens them up a little bit more where they don't feel like, because they were starting Beal at one point, like maybe we can be a little bit more defensive focused with that.
Yeah, Chris Dunn in the starting lineup.
Yeah, like I think that gets interesting for them and helps them a little bit with their defense. Doesn't help their offense, which is still dog shit. Like I don't know. And again, this isn't a team I can turn around and go like, it doesn't matter, just tank. I'm pretty sure
they have this 2-year window. It's like they're all set up to try to win this year and next year, and that's like the only thing.
And they weren't expecting to compete. They themselves weren't expecting to compete for a championship. They thought they'd be a playoff team, though. They didn't think they'd be like, oh, we got to fight to get into the play. We're a long ways away. Like, they could still sneak into the play-in, but it's going to take some work right now. That I just don't see it with them.
Do you think it's done for them as like a top 6 seed?
Oh, yeah. No way. No way. I just can't see them. And I know it's early. And this is a team that's capable of going on a big run in like 2-3 months from now. We can all laugh at my thought here. But I just don't think they have – the West is so good, and you're already banged up. You're already not even playing Chris Paul. You're already in a situation where it's like teams have jumped over you. San Antonio's better than we thought. I think they're going to be clearly a top 6 team. So there's even less spots up there, and I think
when you think about it, like we came into the season being like Thunder, Nuggets, Rockets are 3 of the top 6. And then there's like the Lakers, Clippers, Wolves, Warriors, maybe the Spurs. And it looks like all of those teams are still there, except maybe the Warriors. I don't know. They're 6-6 now. We'll see.
We can talk about the Warriors. I know they weren't on our rundown, but we can talk about the Warriors if you want for a second. But
and then the Spurs have jumped into the group too. Like which of this is the top 6 in the West right now is Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets, Wolves. Which of those teams is not going to be in the top 6 by the end of the year?
I mean, this is the thing that's crazy. First off, the Thunder are freaks. They don't not even full health. The Spurs
they're so much better than everyone.
It's not even like I do my power rankings. I talk about one team. I have yet to talk about the Thunder because I'm almost just like, why? What else is it? Like, they're great. Like, it is what it is. I mean, the Spurs, who just got De'Aaron Fox back and looks pretty good. They had that bad loss to the Lakers and Phoenix, but overall, I feel like understand what they need to do. The Nuggets are the Nuggets. Like, they haven't even fully incorporated Cam Johnson yet. Like, they can go up another level.
Right. They're already outscoring teams by like 12 points per 100 possessions or something like that. And 13.2 after last night when they beat the Kings. And Cam Johnson's shooting like 25% from 3.
Which we don't expect, right? And by the way, that's gone up from where he was at the start of the
open
season.
looks too. Adam Morris from DNVR put out a video earlier today of like, these are all of Cam Johnson's missed threes, and it's like 3 of them are tightly guarded.
Oh, I mean, it's like, no, it's his catch and shoot numbers. I did I looked up some numbers and I saw it, and it was all catch and shoot threes that I expect to go. But okay, but back to the Lakers still don't even have LeBron yet, and they're rolling. Houston's rolling. Minnesota survived Ant being out, and they're already in the top 6. Phoenix is better than we thought. Portland's playing better than we thought, or at least I should say I thought. I shouldn't speak for you. Golden State has dropped off, but it's still in the mix, and it's we know Utah at the 10 spot is going to tank. But, like, it's just a matter of when do they decide we're going to start losing. But, like, man, when I look at it for the Clippers, I'm just like, you can't be a top 6 team.
Yeah. I mean, that dream does seem kind of dead, which is crazy. On
November 12th.
Yeah.
Mark this, November 12th, because if they come back to life like freaking zombies and we're in February and March and have to kind of talk about it, we'll have to note that on November 12th, we were wrong.
we're 10 games into the season and already talking about, oh, well, it's going to be the play-in or nothing for them, which is kind of nuts, especially for a team we both thought was going to be in like the 4-5 game.
Yeah, that's the thing that's kind of crazy with that one. That's really disappointing there. And, the Clippers had bigger aspirations there, Jared.
Aspirations, huh?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Did you do that on purpose?
Don't know what you're talking about, Jared. Let's go to a place. Let's go to a happy place, Jared.
Yeah, let's talk about the Knicks, man. They are on a 5-game winning streak, which not coincidentally, I think all 5 games have been at home. They're undefeated at home and defeated on the road, but they've only played 3 road games so far because they're in the middle of this 7-game homestand before they go on a 5-game road trip. But man, they look awesome right now. Some of that is playing a couple games against the Wizards and the Nets, but they've had the Timberwolves and the Bulls in there. They had the Grizzlies there last night. They scored 130 plus points.
Oh, you could put the Grizzlies with the Nets.
Yeah,
and that like the way that thing's going. Don't get
Ja Morant, buddy.
Oh boy,
like boy. Last night was another not great look for a guy who clearly does not want to be out there. But the Knicks, they've scored 130 plus points in 3 straight games for the first time in franchise history. They are 3rd in offensive rating, decimal points away from the Rockets and the Nuggets in first. And those 3 teams are all clear of the rest of the league by like a 1.5 or more. And then for the next team, it's like 3 points or more. They look phenomenal over these last several games. The difference in what we're getting this season out of Mikal Bridges and what we got from Mikal Bridges last season is like otherworldly. Like it's still too much to give up.
This is who you thought you were getting.
But exactly, this is the guy that they thought they were getting last year. And if you get this guy for the rest of the year, you will absolutely take it and like worry about the fact that you gave up too much for him later, because this is incredible what they're getting from him so far this year. And OG Anunoby playing like if you voted today, this guy would be in the All-Star game. Like he's been phenomenal. And Karl Anthony Towns hasn't even been that good yet. He's shooting like 20 or 30 something percent from 3. Yeah, the Knicks they look great.
This is what you thought you were getting from Mikal Bridges. I stepped on your point there for a second in that sense. Mm-hmm. But let me put it to you this way. Give a lot of credit to Mike Brown. Mm-hmm. Their offense is what's unlocked Mikal. The ball's in his hands a little bit more. They're doing a little bit more. Take some of it off of Brunson. There's a little bit of get action with Brunson. They're running some elbow stuff to open up opportunities there. Bridges is averaging a career high in assists at 5.2. He's shooting a ridiculous 3-point percentage at 50% right now. That's going to fall off, but still, like, it's going to fall off.
Better than last year when he was shooting like 25%. People were like, this guy's jumper is broken.
And but the thing is, he looks fluidly comfortable, like fully comfortable with his assignments, with his roles, with what he's supposed to do. So now
nobody's taken to the offense better than he has.
And I think that's a credit to what Mike Brown has done in maximizing it. And by maximizing Bridges and maximizing the offense, because I think it's unlocked a lot of guys and has made it Brunson's job easier. Because I think the concern you had for me with Brunson last season was like, he's going to get tired. He's going to get worn down. Like, it's all on him every night. Now it's not all on him. And when I mean all on him, it's like, make sure everybody gets shots. Make sure everybody create for everybody. And now his offense is a little more democratic. And he's rested. So now in the fourth quarter, he might be able to go and do stuff for you.
Well, he went and did stuff for them last year, certainly, when he was the clutch player.
No, but that's my point. Like it was gassed. When he it's a long run. Like when he got to the conference finals, dude was tired.
And the thing is, his touches per game are actually up by a not insignificant amount. But his seconds per touch is down by a really significant amount. He led the NBA in time of possession per game last year, and he's down like over a minute from where he was last year, touching the ball for almost like a second and a half less per touch. And like the offense seems more democratized, and he's still taking 2.5 more shots per game than he did last year. Like Mikhail's usage rate is down, but he has the ball in his hands so much more, and his assist rate is way up. OG Anunoby is having like the best passing stretch of his career during this 5 game run. Like Jordan Clarkson has gotten in on the fun over this last 5 game run after he was horrible to start the season. But he scored, double digits in 4 of the last 5 games. He's shooting over 50% from the field in all of those games, making multiple threes in all of those games. Like he looks good in this last stretch. Landry Shamet, when they're counting on him to start in place of Mitchell Robinson when they go small, looks pretty good. Deuce McBride hasn't even been his best self yet. Like they've got probably 3 of their top 9 rotation guys that aren't even playing that well yet, and they still look this good. And Mitchell Robinson's only played 4 games. He's on track to set the record for offensive rebound rate by like 15% if he manages to qualify for the minutes per game leaderboard. Like it's insane what he's doing. They are outscoring teams by like 39 points per 100 possessions with Mitch on the court. Granted, it's only been 66 minutes, but it's crazy what they're doing with him on the floor.
It's impressive, but I think this also goes to what I say though about like the offenses in general. It's such a big difference when you get more movement because it doesn't even, like you said, all the numbers tell you it's not that democratic, right? Brunson's still getting the majority of the shots, right? Like all those, like but it is in the sense of they touch the ball. The other guys get to touch the ball. It's not just a spread pick and roll. It's not just one action and then it's ISO and things like that. Like that's the beauty of what you're getting. And by the way, you can always go back to it. You can always flip the switch of, all right, guys, nut cutting time. We need to make sure we get some buckets here. We're going to go, spread the floor, 1-5 pick and roll, 1-4 pick and roll. Like this team's got so much going for them. And this is why I had them as number 1 in the East. This is what it started out a little bit slowly, right? And then now they're rising to the top and you're starting to see it kind of come together. This is a good one for them in what they have. And I like where they're going as a team and as an organization.
Granted, they're playing the Magic tonight on the second half of a back-to-back after they unnecessarily allowed the Grizzlies to climb back into the game last night. So by the time you listen to this, it's possible that we could have jinxed everything. But yeah, I mean, just the way everything looks is so much different than it did last year, specifically offensively. A metric ton of dribble handoffs that they're running with all of these guys, whether it's guard, guard big, whatever it is. Like I said, Towns hasn't even really gotten going yet. He is averaging like 4 more points a game during this homestand than he did in the first 5 games, so that's looking good, but he's still not shooting very well. Like, I don't know that I have much more to say. It looks really good. It's really encouraging, especially to be so early in the season when they're, integrating some new guys coming off the bench, and they're obviously integrating themselves into a new system. Fred Katz had the stat the other day that last year they were 28th in terms of the speed at which they got into their first action of their offense. And now they're like knocking on the door of the top 10. I think they were 13th before last night. I haven't checked the numbers today. So, and does Mike Brown want them to be better than that? Probably. But to make that big of a jump from year over year when they were clearly like that was the biggest issue for them last year was they took way too long to get into their stuff and they could run like one action before they had to get into Brunson isolation or Towns late clock isolation post-up stuff. Now they can get through 3-4 different actions based on how much more quickly they're getting into their stuff. And it's not like they're up on the top of the leaderboard in pace. They're still in the bottom 10 in pace. But that's because they're running more stuff through the length of the shot clock so that when they do take shots late in the clock, it's better shots than they were taking before because they don't have to rush. They're getting through a bunch more actions before they get to where they're going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to say other than, like, yeah, we jinxed them. Like, I'm almost positive now. We did. It's going to be like a slog offensively in their game against the Magic. So I'm going to just apologize in advance with all that stuff. we're running. I want to try to keep our show more time wise safer. So I want to go into everybody's favorite segment, which is why you come to us and why do you come to the Double Dribble podcast, is to listen to us talk about college football, and our college football roundup of what's going on with our teams. And let's go, Jared. What's going on at the U? By the way, hold on. Before we do this, I was on campus at USC yesterday, and I saw some dude wearing a Miami hat, and I almost hit him. I wanted to throw something at him because it's like, you're on SC's campus. But I did laugh, and I was like, I should make sure Jared knows they're over here too.
Yeah, we played basically the same exact game against Syracuse that we played against Stanford a couple weeks ago, where it was like very concerning for a quarter and a half, and then all of a sudden we just blew them off the field. Basically the exact same game against a team of similar quality. And now we play NC State this week. Their quarterback, CJ Bailey, is a guy who is from Miami. He was the quarterback for Jeremiah Smith and JoJo Trader's high school team, and we basically didn't recruit him until the last possible minute because we were trying to sneak him in and get Jeremiah Smith to flip from Ohio State, which obviously didn't happen. So he's going to have revenge against us on his mind. We moved up to number 15 in the college football playoff rankings, and like the ESPN projections have us in as the quote-unquote ACC champion, but there's basically no way that we get to the ACC championship game. So the idea that we're going to be the ACC champion is kind of nuts. We're going to need the ACC to be a two-bid league unless things go completely haywire. And, the committee guy came out and basically said, like, we just need to see Miami's offense be better. And honestly, I need to see Miami's offense be better. I need to see Carson Beck not suck for a quarter and a half to start every game before the offense gets going. And I need to see the offensive line not take a million penalties. I need to see Malachi Toney do his thing every single week. I need JoJo Trader to stop dropping the ball. I need CJ Daniels to come back from his injury and be good again. So, yeah, but we got an interesting game this Saturday. Hopefully we can win that one and then go 3-0 down the stretch. We got NC State, we got Virginia Tech, we got Pitt. Hopefully Pitt can beat Notre Dame. So if we beat Pitt in the last game of the year, that looks even better too. And it knocks Notre Dame out, which would be helpful.
That's our hope. More importantly, is that. So SC coming off their win against Northwestern. Little fun stuff. A very impressive fake punt ruse that started weeks ago.
Awesome.
This is first off, there's a lot of people out there complaining the play's illegal. I'm not a rules expert, but I'm just going to say this. We had our third string quarterback change his number to the same number as our punter 3 weeks ago, and nobody had noticed. That should not be illegal. That's on you. Everybody else not paying attention to details. Comes out, it's like a 4th and 5 or something. I forget what it was, and then throws the first down. Which, by the way, I wasn't even 100% sure my guy got his feet in bounds before he caught. He did. That part was perfectly legal. The rule everybody's complaining about is like, then the punter can't line up as a punter and punt the next time, and that should have been a 15-yard penalty. I'm just going to say one thing here. For all you know, it was a long shotgun. Like, you don't, like, when you go out there, I don't know how you just decide, okay, that's the punt. Until he kicks the ball, he's not the punter.
The only rule when it comes to the numbers is that you can't have two guys with the same number on the field at the same time. So, like Miami last year, the punt returner was number 5, but one of the guys on the punt return team was a defensive player who was number 5. So they would put a number 47 jersey on the return man just for punt returns. You're allowed to do that. So what's the deal? Like, you can have your punter be the same number as his backup quarterback. What's the difference?
All I'm saying is also that I want to know. I would just love 10 minutes with Lincoln Riley to just be like, yo, I don't care about all the other stuff. There's all the rumors that how did you come up with it? Like, what was the ideation of this? Like, when did you see this? When did you think we should do this? And when did you decide to pull it out with that? And also in that game, this was a crazy end of the half where It's 14-14. It's Northwestern, so it's like, come on, guys. Like, don't blow this game. It's a Friday night game. It's a trap game. And I'm like, this is going to, like, don't do this. Jaden Mayava throws an interception that's about to be a pick six. He gets back in the play and drops a hit on, I think it was a lineman who had it, and knocks the ball loose, and it's a fumble out of bounds in the end zone, which is also terrible rule, but nonetheless, rules. We care about the rules at SC, as we've discussed. And it's a touchback. We get the ball back. We're just saying, great freaking play by Mayava. And then we go down, score a touchdown, and then basically we break the game open from there. We're at 17th in the rankings. We got a tough one against Iowa at home. And, like, not going to lie to you, Jared, I'm a bit nervous, man. First off, This might be the first home game I miss this season because we have a potential torrential downpour coming our way. I think the weather phrase is atmospheric river. We're LA, man. We ain't built for the rain. Like the streets flood pretty quick. We're not built for this. In that sense. So there's a chance I might end up not going to the game. There's a chance I might go to the game and just say, screw it. I'm going to be completely soaked, and I'm just going to deal with it. But yeah, this is a big one. We have a small chance to sneak in the playoffs. My hopes aren't very high.
There's a bunch of teams that are like 2-loss teams that can convince themselves if we win out, we have a chance to sneak into the playoffs. And our teams are two of those teams.
Well, because Pitt's your big game, right? If you guys go undefeated and then play Pitt, that's your big game. And of course, if Pitt helps a ton if they beat Notre Dame because it takes Notre Dame out of the place, helps most of us. One less team, and I have a few more of those teams that we can discuss here in a second. That like games I will be paying attention to on Saturday because
like Texas and Oklahoma need to get beat by Georgia and Alabama, or Alabama
by a lot. Yeah. They need to beat the crap out of them, basically. But we have this Iowa game, and then after that we go to Oregon.
Ooh.
And Oregon's a tough place to play for us. We struggle there with quite a bit. I don't even remember the last.
If Indiana can go to Oregon and win, you got to go to Oregon and win.
That's the truth. But before we do all that, we got to beat Iowa. So we'll talk about Oregon next week. But we got to beat Iowa with that stuff. Anything else you want to touch on? I know I forced us into the college football conversation, but
nah, man. We can. Anything else we got to talk about? We can talk about next week. But
yes,
Nico.
We're sorry, Nico. It had to be done, man. It was just the fire Nico chants were simply too much. Did you see the picture of Dumont talking to the guy in the Luka Laker jersey courtside?
Yes, I did.
Oh man, that's a whole.
I can't believe we forgot to talk about that earlier on.
I mean, but it's the perfect image. It's the perfect image for all that stuff. Like, I wonder if he was asking, like, why did you like him so much? Like, because clearly, obviously not a basketball guy at this point. Like, why did you like him? And also, I don't know why you would spend, so much money to buy a basketball team if you don't actually like the sport. That's what I'm going to assume that ownership group is all about. They don't like the sport. I think we all really know why, but we don't have to talk about
money?
it. Well, I wasn't going to do all that stuff. We don't have to talk about the failed casino that they wanted to build in Dallas. But anyways, that's it for the Double Dribble podcast. A couple, again, calls to action. If you want to help us out with intro and outro music, please, if you're so inclined, help us out. If you want to, more importantly, rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, share this with your friends, share the YouTube page. Make sure you're checking out all Jared's stuff, all his work last night in basketball. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. It is awesome. Please help Jared out. Help me out. I'm doing videos on Offside. Make sure you sign up for the waitlist for the app. I'm telling you, the app's coming soon, guys. It's coming soon. Once we open it up to everybody, y'all can come in and enjoy all the fun videos, power rankings dropping, and all that stuff. I have my dog in half the videos. Yes, I shamelessly use my dog. Deal with it. And just
putting Bodie in my videos too.
Docs just help, dude. Just put Bodie. I had Luka sitting here for a while, and then he was like, nah, I'm out. I thought he'd help the podcast. He just decided not to help. He doesn't understand what his role is as a dog model. But that's it. Thank you for listening to the Double Dribble podcast.
See y'all.